Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Looks like my mic should be working. Let's actually move a little bit back over here and start at the beginning. Get my coffee. I got my Vegas mug. Hopefully everybody had a good day. Hopefully some people got some dip buying in on CleanSpark. It looks like the Mara is still kind of dipping, but I bought a bunch of that too. Let's look here real quick. So it says total gain loss 50,000. This does not incorporate in about, I don't know, 100,000 plus that I sold for Okta today. I had 80 contracts, made a bunch of money off of them, 464% on average. So took those profits and ran because I don't actually understand the business that well, but it was an asymmetric opportunity and I figured I'd take it. And it turned out really well. So I made a bunch of money, about a year of my old income. Now, I took that and I bought a bunch of Mara with it and CleanSpark. I actually bought both today and got a good chunk of each of these. I did sell a little bit of Bitfarms too to acquire this to get more into Mara. If you haven't seen the Mara earnings call from yesterday, you should watch it. It's a good one. There's some parts you can fast forward through or do 2x. If you can listen on 2x, that's probably the best way to do it. Then it's only like an hour and 15 minutes instead of 2.5 hours of your life. But again, my perspective on Mara has changed quite a bit. I think it could be a decent. I don't know if I fully trust them, but I do think it could be a decent investment. And I think it's going to pay off well. Now, to be clear though, on Mara, they're diluting shares. Like they could dilute up to $2.5 billion, which is going to hurt EPS or earnings per share because they'll have more shares. So the earnings per share will go down. But all in all, I don't think that's going to matter a lot in the end because they've got just so much Bitcoin, so much more Bitcoin than everybody else. And because of the new FASB rules, accounting rules that are optional right now, they're going to benefit so much from that as the price appreciates. I think the price of Bitcoin is up like 45-50% from the end of Q4. So I just think they're going to do really well. Anyway, miners took a hit today, a big hit. My Best Buy short took a hit too. Probably going to add to that, not right now. And then the things that did well, SoFi, Square, Hood, looks like GBTC might have done all right. Ethy, all these did pretty well. It was just really the miners that took the bulk of the hit today. You could see it across the board here. And I actually probably ended up flat on the day, maybe even positive because I made like 65 or no, probably more than that, 70,000 plus on Okta. And then just between balancing that out in my other accounts, it probably was about flat maybe on the day. So that was not too bad. Now, the shitcoin portfolio, the majority of it is doing real good. This is up like, I don't know, 10, 15,000 from yesterday, something like that. So those are doing good. You'll see more of that in a second here. The heat map is pretty broad actually, and semiconductors did great. Nvidia was up like 9%, almost 10% today, new all-time high. But really a lot of sectors benefiting again today. You could see the NASDAQ actually did really well today. The Russell wasn't far behind it. Actually, every index was up on the day, but you could see how the NASDAQ looks like it's got a base and it's going to start breaking out into all-time highs again. The thing I love, though, the most across indices is the Russell. The Russell is my favorite thing today. So the Russell actually broke above this fib for the first time in almost 3 years. Just a couple months shy, so 22 plus months. We broke above this fib level. So that's so great for the market to broaden. This is such a great sign. Makes me very bullish. Let's move on. All right, oil. Oil, actually, it looks like on the day is going to fall. Again, I think it's going to dip under this 50. I don't think OPEC got rid of their production cuts, but it doesn't matter. China's deflating the world, so I still think oil drops, and we see that 60-ish range in the not too distant future. The dollar closed up a little bit today, but as you can tell from the indices, it didn't really matter. Again, when the dollar is kind of chopping, it doesn't do much. So, and I think we're going to see more chop to down. Fear and greed index, just because of how long we've been up, is in extreme greed. Again, market momentum, it's extreme greed. You can see how stock price breadth causes greed. Put call ratio continues to roll over. So there's just not a lot of puts, not a lot of market volatility. So this is basically just showing that we're in a risk on state right now. And this is great for everything fintech, for ARC Genomics, the biotechs, crypto. It's the market you want to see. Now, economic data. So one of the things I wanted to point out, United States PCE, Price Index Annual Change. So this has actually been dropping by a lot. And it actually, if we look here, January, actual was 2.4, consensus and forecast was 2.4, but look at the steep drop that we're looking at here and just how close we are to historical norms. Is that the full view? Yeah, right here. So you can see how we got a little bit more to get to the 2% or under range, but this is just a great level to be at. And again, it just totally took out all of the inflation. A couple of other things. Let's roll through here. So core PCE month over month. I hate month over month. In that consensus, it was a little bit above forecast. I don't like looking at month over month. You can't see trends. Personal income and spending, where income was 1%. They thought it was going to be 0.3 or 0.4. That's great. We want people to make more money. Did they spend? Not really. Initial jobless claims, that is 215K. We can actually see a trend here, so let's go into it. But, well, I guess we can't see much of one because if we go out too far, we get COVID and it just destroys everything. But again, maybe it's creeping up, still kind of flat, nothing too exciting here. If we look at jobless claims 4-week average, we actually look like we've been trending down over the last couple of weeks. Again, you can't go out too far, but this doesn't look bad. So jobs data doesn't look bad. All right, let's look here. The PCE price index year over year. Okay, so this should be a fairly helpful one again. Oh, wait, no, this is the one. Well, this is kind of like the one we were looking at. It doesn't really matter too much. Again, you could just tell that it's completely fallen off a cliff. Let's look at Chicago PMI. So PMI is weakening. This is basically the Chicago Business Barometer, right? Purchase Manager Index. And we're seeing that it is weak. It's under 50. Under 50 means contraction. That's not great. We don't want to see that for long. We want to see it go back up. If we start lowering rates, we'll see that. We'll see that across the PMI. We'll see, let's see, pending home sales year over year. Again, still weak, still in negative territory. In fact, if you go back here, if you just look, this is like, we've already done the depths of 2008. If you really compare this and look at how long we've been under here, we've already been through the housing crisis. And all we need to make the housing market go boom is to lower rates. It will immediately jump into positive territory for pending home sales. And we'll see the housing market start firing off, and we'll see a bunch of happy realtors, at least the ones that are still left. So we want that, and we have the ability to do it. All it takes is the Fed, and that's not hard. All right, so Kansas Fed Manufacturing and Composite Index. Again, this is one where these things have just been crushed, probably because of rates, at least for local purchasing. There's going to be a world impact here too, just because, again, we're seeing such slowing in places like China and parts of Europe. So manufacturing might be an area that doesn't fire off right away. Real estate is probably going to be an area. Real estate and auto are the ones that are going to be most impacted here in a positive way from rates coming down, and just general lending. The banking sector, they'll benefit from rates coming down. So that's the stuff to look out for. 30-year mortgage rate, again, just kind of sitting here. It was dropping hard, and right now we're just waiting for a sign of rates to come down. If that happens, we're dropping under 6% real quick, short order. So maybe by June. All right, CME, again, 2 out of 3 chance that we're getting rates reduced 1 to 2 bips in June. That still seems to be the time frame. We'll see if that changes. Bitcoin. Banks are looking to custody Bitcoin. You've got B of A's Merrill, Wells Fargo offer Bitcoin ETFs to clients. So these guys are looking to custody, and they're trying to get their hands on ETFs because they can see record-breaking numbers in the Bitcoin ETF flows. And for that reason, they want to be involved. And again, even today, everybody was freaking out today about, oh, what's going on? My Bitcoin miners are falling and Bitcoin is stable. Why are the miners going down? It's like, I don't know how many times I have to say this, guys. And I love you, and I get it. Some of you don't understand this. But if you own something like CleanSpark and it goes up 265% over 6 weeks, when the underlying asset that they're mining with the pickaxes only went up 50%, be grateful. And yes, it can come back down because it went up 265%, which is a lot more than 50%. Oh, my dog's over here. Hopefully, should have put up my little gate. She's a sweetie. She's a geriatric Jack Russell Terrier, but she's just a mess. And she'll start clanking on the floors. We'll see what happens. Anyway, altcoin season. Again, I alluded to the fact that I'm starting to make a bunch of money off of altcoins. Yes, that is definitely happening. We have Solana. Let's look at Solana, Dogecoin, all these. We're going to jump around a little bit. So again, this is what it's capable of doing, right? If we look at historical trends for Bitcoin and altcoins, they look kind of like this with a multiplier behind altcoins because they're like a leverage play to Bitcoin. So we're here at this little spot down here. And this is what it does up here. Last 2 cycles. If you think that's not happening again, you're wrong. And I sell out of these completely. Don't fall in love with your shitcoins. They are shitcoins for a reason. And you'll want to exit them before the top of the cycle, just like miners. Don't fall in love with your miners. If you're going to hold anything at the end, make it be Bitcoin. Get rid of all the other stuff. All right, my Jack Russell Terrier's being a pain. Just 1 second. Just a second. Okay. All right, dog. You gotta move. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. All right. So what I wanted to show, though, is with Solana here, we're breaking out above the fib. And sure, it's retracing a little bit. But if Bitcoin remains stable, this is just going to keep going up and up and up and up. And that's happening with the entire altcoin market. I mean, look at this bonk. It's like a rip on Doge and SHIB and whatever the other dog coins are. I own some of this, actually, so I've made a bunch of money off of it. But it's up 54% in a day. That's kind of cool. And then if we look at Dogecoin, that was a big one, right? This has the narrative. This has the narrative of Elon potentially igniting it with X payments incorporating Doge. And Elon has been very clear in the past that he is fond of the coin and wants to help people that own it because a bunch of employees at Tesla owned it. And when he gets attached to something, he gets attached to it. And he's actually friends with one of the developers from Doge. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. But at the very least, the narrative is great, right? And it's causing this to go up a lot. All right, let me see here. Let me pull up other stuff. Let's look at some Bitcoins itself. I think Bitcoins is over here. Now, let me go back over here. So again, huge numbers over a day. If we go to the week, even cooler. If we go to the month, again, you can see some big winners here. 300% in a month is not a bad number. But these numbers will pale to what's happening. You'll see like a huge one taking up the whole screen that'll say like 1,000% in a day. That's just what happens. You don't chase stuff like that. You do not chase stuff like that. You just buy a stack. You can keep it simple and get some of the big ones and then just sit it out. Don't trade it. Don't day trade it. If there's any advice I can offer, it's that. Don't day trade it. All right. Real quickly here. Let me show you. So again, I posted about this. This is the support zone that I'm looking for. I don't know that we're done falling on Bitcoin. And here's the reason I say that. If we look at the fib down below here, this is a fib going back to 2017, right? And you'll see that we are right up at this level where we tend to retrace every time. All right, sorry, RSI, fib. I just say fib all the time now. The RSI, when you're in the 90s range on the daily, you can retrace. As crazy as it sounds. And you just learned a lesson recently, right? You learned that, and I probably should have voiced this more. I'll try and do a better job the next time, but The thing is, it moves so quickly and it can still go so much higher, even at 90. But when you get to a 90 on the daily RSI or around that, it looks like 88, 89 is what we got to, or even worse on the weekly time frame, you should probably take some money off the table. And your first indication of that is the miners starting to roll over. And again, after the miners rolled over, what did we see? We saw Bitcoin roll over too shortly thereafter. So it's kind of something where you can see the miners acting first. The higher vol plays usually happen first. They'll be the first to recover. They'll be the first to drop. So this is a lesson you need to focus on. To the 250-ish people that are here, you need to remember that. It's very, very important. These are the ones that roll first. But yeah, as I was saying, I would focus on buying in this range. So if we keep dropping and we get to 59, 530 down to 57, that is a high buy range because you have the shelf of volume support that's forming under here, and that's the peak. And I just don't see Bitcoin going under that. We have such large amounts of interest. These Bitcoin ETFs are sucking up more than 10x the daily issuance. That is a huge number. That is a massive imbalance between supply and demand. If you don't understand supply and demand, you need to. It's a crucial part of investing. Very, very important. It's what allows you to make big margins if you're a NVIDIA, right? Why can NVIDIA make so much money right now? Because they have a year-long wait on their highly sought-after video cards. So as long as there's a supply-demand imbalance, NVIDIA can go to the moon. And you're getting ready to see that. We saw it with uranium, and we're getting ready to see it right now with Bitcoin. So I can tell you this. I'm looking to buy a bunch more of the miners. I hope they drop a bunch. I hope they drop 30%. My targets, let's go over those real quickly here. So, all right, so we looked at Bitcoin. We know it can drop between like 59 and 57, and that's probably a good place to buy, right? Oh, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some wannabe. And let's look at some of these miners real quick. And then we'll go over my fintechs that I love and a couple of other plays like ArcG. And then we will jump into your guys' charts, and I will start paying attention to comments. All right. Mara. Now, again, Mara had great earnings, but they failed on EPS. They failed on EPS. Why? Why did they fail on EPS? Because they diluted the shit out of their shares, which is what happens, right? So let me look at this. Yeah, I'll pull up this PAGS one later too. So let's look real quick. For the people that weren't a part of yesterday's call, let's just look here. Share dilution down at the bottom here. So again, you can do really well. And again, they're prepping to buy a bunch of miners. They've got another $2.5 billion they might spend. If they dilute with another $2.5 billion, their shares could chop for a while. If they do that, I'm going to buy more. Why? Because of this. I mean, look at this kind of revenue growth here. This is stupid. It's uncomparable to other miners. Already netting 150 million. This next quarter could be really good in Q1. I mean, decent. They had some downtime with some of their miners, but Q2 could be sick. And you can see how they lowballed this next quarter. But like, this is the number I care about. They have $639 million in Bitcoin. And that doesn't incorporate the fact that they're already up 40% on that stuff. So they're over $1 billion right now, getting close to. And plus they're going to stack more this next quarter too. So they'll have like $1 billion sitting on the sidelines in Bitcoin. And that's going to be a good thing for them. It's going to continue to help push their numbers up. Also, real quickly, before I jump into the next miner. So again, Mara is at a fib level. You can see where it hit it. I will say this, it could drop underneath. It could. And if it does, I'm going to be a buyer. Because if we drop under this fib level, we've got some air between here. It's kind of hard to see here because this chart is so old. We'll stick with the part where they're actually a miner. But you can see where there's air here that drops all the way down, and it drops down to like the $19 range. It's not showing too well because I adjusted the chart, but it's about the $19 range. And so if it dropped down to that at $19.20, I would buy a bunch of it. Real quickly, I'll throw up CleanSpark next, and then we'll look at MicroStrategy too, because MicroStrategy is important. There's a short squeeze that's happening there. I don't know. Maybe Michael Saylor even bought some stock today. He might have. I know that noticed the stock price drop for a bit, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he did. Now, CleanSpark. Again, two things to note here, right? We're just sticking kind of with the time frame that they were a Bitcoin miner. We're not going back to the way back. But if we look at volumes here, we got a daily gap down here, and that can fill right around the $10 mark. The $10 mark is also peak in volume. If we drop further, this will be an awesome level of support. I'm kind of like all in at this level, man. I'm figuring out what I can get rid of that doesn't have a great multiplier behind it, and I'm dumping it into this at this level. All right, real quick, I'll pull up Bitfarms too. And I do have, again, so my intent, I did sell some Bitfarms today. I sold a ton of Octa, like over 6 figures, and I sold some Bitfarms today. But I will be buying more Bitfarms. I'll be buying more CleanSpark, and I'll be buying more Mara. I just wanted to get into Mara because I think that this is going to be a good play. And some of my reservations I had before, I'm looking past. And if you want to understand why, again, watch that earnings call. But my intent, what I'm talking about now is my intent is to buy more of the miners. I hope they drop, and I will pick up at least $150,000 to $200,000 more, maybe $250,000 more, maybe more. Like I want to get more. That's the gist. I want more. All right, so let's look at, so we know our range is there. Let's look at BITF real quick, Bitfarms, and talk about that too. So Bitfarms, where you at? Okay, so we've dropped, honestly, this fib right here, the .5, that's probably going to be support. If we drop any further, it's probably only to 250. This is cheap in comparison because the market cap is only 860 million, whereas some of these others that we're looking at, like CleanSpark, is 3.3 billion. And wow, it looks like Marathon's under 6 now, so it's 5.77. So, but Bitfarms doesn't have near the Bitcoin that these two have. Oh, and I did want to clarify something in case you guys didn't see the post. I was saying, hey, these aren't going to work with FASB accounting because they're in Canada, but it looks like that they're good too. They already can dish this out as tangible versus intangible. So it sounds like from a previous post, which is in my feed, somebody had clarified that these guys don't have to worry about that they'll be able to basically count it at fair value, which is great. So that's one concern off the table. But I would say 250 is a great buy zone for this if we continue to drop. And again, it's a low market cap, so it's easier for it to go higher, percentage-wise, faster. But they got to perform. But I've listened to the CEO of this company, and he seems like a guy who gets it done. He's very smart, just like Marathon, just like CleanSpark. All these guys, these are the 3 best in the industry, in my opinion. These miners don't get better than these 3. And it looks like we have earnings for Bitfarms too on March 7th, just so you guys know. And I will obviously be hosting that. All right, let's get off that. I want to go to MicroStrategy real quick just to talk about that one. And then I'll run through fintech really fast. And then we'll get to your charts, guys. All right. Ooh, I hate this view. Let me get to daily. All right. So just look at this. This is such a crazy chart. It just keeps going up. And it's because of the short interest being so high. And these guys are just going to get destroyed. So it's down to 1,000 in after hours, but the shorts keep piling onto this trade. Last I checked, they had over 20% short interest. Let me see. I'm not sure if it's that anymore. And this might not be, yeah, so 20.1%. And I think this is pretty accurate and up to date. So short interest is huge. And it's not a GameStop moment, but man, it's going to be pretty close because if Bitcoin continues to see the amount of interest and the amount of money flows coming in through ETFs that it's been seeing, record-breaking for 3 days in a row, if it sees anything like that, people are just going to pile into MicroStrategy. And as they pile into MicroStrategy, the stock will go up. Michael Saylor will sell the stock and dilute the shares, and then he'll buy a bunch more Bitcoin. And it's like a perpetual money machine and a multiplier to upside. And it's turning out phenomenal. It's going to be a driver for this bull market. Kind of like how GBTC was back in the day in 2017 and part of the cycle after that, when it was basically operating at a huge premium where people got locked in for at least 6 months. And so they would know that they would make a bunch of money when it was time to sell. And so it was a perpetual money printer that drove money into Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is that right now too. And you have Bitcoin ETFs, and you have BASB, and you have more ETFs coming soon. And it's just like, bleh, there's so much. I can't keep up with it. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on. I'm feeling ranty today. I don't know if anybody can tell. All right, let's look at Square. Let's pull that one up. So again, I'm making money off these fintech plays, and I'm liking it. Square is getting closer to the market cap of PayPal, and it was up on the day, 1.34%. It's down a little bit in after hours, but again, and it could fill this gap down here, but it's doing well. They had a great earnings. I'm just looking for a clean break above 82.83. And then it is off to the moon, or at least $89. And when you've got the options I've got, that is the moon. All right. SoFi went back up again. Again, it had that good 7.5% rough day. And then it had a down day yesterday, and everybody lost faith again, and now it's back up there. And it looks like we're fighting for that .786. I would love to see a break above 950 and turn that into support. If that happens, it's off to the races. It's an easy to 1185 and touching our 52-week high. And you can't hate that. All right, PayPal. PayPal tried. It made an attempt. It got its ass smacked back down. But there's something I want to show you here. It is the sheer number of gaps in the daily time frame. They're everywhere. They will be a feeder for this thing when it does start taking off. Started to close one down here. Again, we tested the 200. I posted about that. We tested the 200 moving average and the highest amount of volume on this chart, and it got rejected, and that's fine. That's fine. You know why that's fine? That's hard to do. And it was amazing that it jumped, 2% or something, 2.5% on the day to even do that. And then it closed positive for the day. I'm happy with it. And here's something else I wanted to show you. So I don't think we're going to have our fourth green monthly candle here. Doesn't look like it. Well, I mean, I guess it didn't. But here's what I do want to show you. For the first time, potentially, in 2 years, over 2 years, almost 3, we have the potential, if we can get up to 68, of having the third, or I should say this, the second higher high. And that hasn't happened since here, 939 days ago. So if we get to that 68 level, it's going to be such an amazing feat. And then again, we'll start to see resistance in the 70s, around 73, 74. And then I think it's off to 80s, the 83. And I think ultimately, I still think we're getting to 97. And we could even get in the hundreds in the next 4 months. That's my thought process here. Might not happen. If it doesn't happen, I don't care too much because I've got about 100,000 now in January 2026. So I will make money off this play. We'll just have to see when. All right. That's enough PayPal for one day. Let's go to some Hood, and then we'll do ARC. And then I'm going to pull up Palantir too because their chart looks interesting, and then I'll get through your guys's. So again, Hood still showing strength, still fighting its way up to our next fib level in the 17 range. I think that's happening. Hood is a massive beneficiary of Bitcoin going up. And I think, and then you have the credit card, the golden credit card that they're looking at doing. You have the news today. I didn't post it in here, but it looks like Arbitrum, a layer 2 solution for Ethereum, that they're partnering with Robinhood in their wallet to be able to make it to where people can swap and at cheaper fees. So that's going to be beneficial for Robinhood. It's going to be beneficial for Arbitrum. And again, Arbitrum's got the benefit of much lower fees coming soon from Ethereum layer 2s getting a massive discount from EIP 4844. So there's some really good stuff coming, and Robinhood is going to be a direct beneficiary. And I think that Vlad, from our last earnings call, he was talking about wanting to do more in crypto. I think they're going to be adding a bunch more pairs, and they need to because they got a lot of old stuff, and they need to get some of the cooler, hipper, layer 2 like Arbitrum and Optimism and Injective and just a bunch of other stuff, and Solana. And they don't even have Solana. They need to add a bunch of other cryptos and they'll increase their transaction volume immensely. This is low-hanging fruit, and it's pretty much got the rubber stamp from the government now with everything that's going on and the way things are playing out. So they should do it, and Coinbase is doing it. They should be doing it, and I think they will be. And so again, I think it's a rubber stamp to 30 and looking to make a cool mill off of that, maybe a little bit more when it happens. I love this one though. I love it. It's just going to keep creeping higher. It's going to be a good one. Let's get to ARK real quick. All right, ARK Genomics got rejected today underneath peak volumes. Not super great, but again, a valid attempt. Would love to see it get above peak volumes and close above it. It hasn't done that since its last attempt in December, around Christmas time. So we just need to see strength. Really, I will be confident about this once we break 35. Once we get up here at 35, we're above the downward channel. If we can turn that into support and we're above that first fib, it's off to the races. We're going into the upper 40s and 50s. And again, I make at least $1 million or $2 million, something like that off of this one, which is nice. I'll real quickly show Okta, and then I'll show Palantir, and then I don't know if there's much else, and then I'll just go into yours. So Okta, I did sell it, and I sold it because it skyrocketed up to the next fib level, which was kind of like a no-brainer for me to get out and enjoy the profit. Come on, show it. All right, there we go. So you can see here, I don't know why this is running so slow. You can see though how it got up to the fib. I'll just show this grayed out version. You can see, there we go. You can see how it got to the fib up here, just right out of the gate. And when you hit perfectly that fib, again, if you don't believe in TA, I'm sorry. Do you think it's a coincidence that we stopped right here? This is rant time. When I show you guys all these charts, do you think it's a coincidence that we always stop or find support on the Fibonacci sequences? you need to understand fib, and I need to make a video about that. There's a lot of science behind it. Really cool stuff. A lot of things we don't understand. But again, so when I saw that we jumped up here, I was like, okay, I might just sell all of it. And so I took that 450% roughly in gains across it, all of it, and 6 figures, and I got out. And then we dropped all the way down to here to 102, and then eventually came back up. But I'm happy to be out of it. It was a good number. I don't understand the business well enough, so I moved on. But again, this could be a point of contention here at the 112 range, because that's kind of a reversion to the mean. And all I mean by that is you have this cascading fall, and then you have this first area where it really tried to bounce, right? So that's like your first line of defense. And so we got back to it. And so this could take a little bit longer to get above it. Another reason why I exited the trade. Real quickly, Palantir, and then we'll move on to your stuff. Not too bad for half an hour in. We're getting through stuff pretty quick. All right, so Palantir closed up 2.7% today. And here's what I like about that. Because we're above peak volume throughout the entire history of the company, and we're not far from the last 52-week high. It just really seems like Palantir wants to get up to 30, and we know the narrative on S&P inclusion is going to be huge. So I think 30 is kind of a no-brainer to me, and if we go to 30, there's a really good chance we're going to test all-time highs again at 44. Now, I am not in this trade. I might have a few shares of Palantir, but I'm not in this trade because I am greedy. And there are so many asymmetric opportunities right now, and they have high probabilities of success. So I just can't 75, 80% upside. It's just not enough for me right now. Again, there's times to be greedy. I think right now is the time to be greedy. So that's why I am. Note, there could be years that go by where I don't even trade options. So to me, it's all about timing. I don't think a lot of people realize that. They think that they can just do all things at all times. That's not true. That's not how life works. That's not how investing works. All right. I will show Tesla real quick. I know I said I was going to use it. And then I'm starting at the top. Somebody had PAGs. Yep, right at the top there. I'm getting you, AJ. So again, I think that there's a decent chance, and I'm hoping. So again, this is me wanting it to happen. So you can add that into your equation. But this looks like a rising wedge that wants to break down. Okay. So if it breaks down, the highest level that we'll stop at would be like 194, 195 right here. And maybe we trend alongside that and then we can go higher. But if we start to break down further, it's down to like 188 and then it's down to like the 170s, down where this fib is down here. I would actually love for us to do that. It's a great back test zone to establish as support because you can see how we had support over here, we had support here, we had support here. It would be great to hit it again and test it as support before going higher. It would just kind of lock in. If we grinded there for a while, this is the bottom. We're done. We're moving on. And that would be great. And I would eat that up so much. I would just gobble that up. I want 300,000, 400,000 in calls if I can on Tesla. Because they're June 2026. And it's like, I'm pretty confident about Tesla going to $330 by June of 2026. I think they can do it. I'll give them, I think they'll be 1,000, maybe higher. So I'll definitely take 330. I love that extrinsic and intrinsic value on those options plays. They're going to be wonderful. All right, moving on. Getting to PAGs. Time for you guys. It's not all about me. Here we go. All right, so this one, I heard they had good earnings or something. Let me see. Did they have good earnings? Post-market, no trades. Am I looking at the right one? Why do I see nothing? All right, well, anyway, they did test up to the fib. I don't know. You said nobody knows this one. I guess I don't know this one that well either. It is like that Latin American Visa, if I remember correctly from yesterday. Oh, we do have a little bit of a bounce in after. No, it's just right here. 14. So it doesn't look like it's actually that high. I guess they had earnings. Let me look here and see what they're... Let me look here and see if this is telling me anything. Am I just looking at the wrong chart? Let's see, Q3. No, do they have earnings? Are we tripping here? Earnings, February 28th. Oh, okay, so they did do all right, and that's why we got this jump, and then they grind it down. So yeah, they hit the fib. Again, Fibonacci. Oh, it's just, what do they like to say? It's astrology for men. That's what they say. Those people are fucking idiots. So don't listen to those people. Sorry for my French. Anyway, so yeah, we hit the fib, we retraced. That's not surprising. And if they had good earnings, which it looks like they did all right, it's probably going to go up and test that again, but we'll see. Again, this could be one that grinds higher. This chart does look good. You want to get above peak volumes around the 15 range. If you can turn this into support, it's an easy run to 18. And honestly, you might even be able to go higher. It just all depends on the fundamentals. The fundamentals have to stay strong. They have to grow. All right, let me see here. So PAGs, moving on. Bunch of stuff, bunch of more stuff. Looking for a ticker. AAF, is that what I saw first? Sorry, and then I scrolled right past. Solana moved up good today. I think I already showed Solana for a second. Yeah, Solana's set to rock and roll. ANF. I don't know what ANF is. I'm gonna make a copy. ANF. If I skip anybody, let me know. All right, ANF. Abercrombie and Fitch. This is something I know nothing about. Wow, that's I don't know what I can tell you about this stock. It obviously does well and has since October of 2022. Let me see if I could do a fib off of it. But, I mean, this is already run so much. It's really hard for me to be like, this is exciting. I can't wait for it to break out. It's like, it's Mr. Consistent. Here's what I would worry about, though. I would worry about a recession. Because if this bugger gets hit by a recession... So, I mean, we're already parabolic in this chart, right? This might be a good short. Because in a recession, they've went up 800% since the pandemic. That seems like a good number. But let's see, did these guys go back? I want to go back to 2008 and see what the damage was back then. And then we'll move on. I just got to get a bead here. So yeah, here's what I want to show you. This might be, you actually got me interested in this one. Because if we do have like a retail shock, What is this? A and F. A and F. If we do have a retail shock, this one could be interesting because let's see, what did it go back down during the 2008 financial crisis? So it took it, yeah, the timing's about right. So it got hurt really quick. 84%. I love that number. That's such a great number. It's just yummy. All right, so this thing got decimated during the great financial crisis, and it just ran 800%. How much is it up since, what is this? Oh, this is the pandemic. I'm not even, oh, that was this. So I'm just doing it from its last low in 2022. So since the pandemic, it's up 1,600%. This looks yummy. Oh my God, this looks yummy. I'm going to look up shorts on this one. I might even, if it looks good, guys, I might even post about this one and give you some thoughts. I was looking for other good hedges, and I don't know anybody talking about short in Abercrombie and Fitch. So, but again, if you're in this one, I mean, don't be too greedy. If you think that we could have some kind of slowdown in the economy, this is your insurance plan, and definitely not what you want to be in. Now, don't get me wrong, maybe it goes to 270 first, but it's up 1,600% since the pandemic. Thank you for this one. I'm not sure why you gave this to me. Oh, you said good hedge. Yeah, Sean, you're spot on. You're spot on. This might be a great one. I'll do my due diligence and I'll report on it, and then I'll post it, and members will get to see it first before regular people. I'm trying to get better about that. So if I find this is a good short play, I'm going to post it for members only, and then like maybe a day later I post it for other people. That's how this works. All right. Pags, Solana. Yeah, that was great, dude. Total brilliant job, Sean. Remember Sean, guys. Give Sean some accolades. You staking any shit coins? I am staking shit coins. I'm just using Coinbase. So like Ethereum, Solana, Atom, a bunch of those. Let me see here. If you look down here, 5% I'm getting yearly on Solana, 3% on Ethereum, 2.4 on Polygon, 9.22 on Atom. That's ridiculous. Probably going to keep the price down. 6.92 on Polkadot. I barely own this one. I mean, you can see I get really low on the numbers here, but I am getting some money. Oh, I love that play so much, dude. Yes. We like you. We like you, Sean. We're not forgetting Sean. All right, what else we got? Added more Tesla leaps. Cool. Yeah, again, just keep in mind that Tesla might go lower, and as long as you're cool with that. FPTC and retirement, 600 shares. Cool, man. I love that Fidelity play. You know I do. Win. There was a Wynn Resort in Vegas. Should have checked it out. I know that my man... Oh, wait, here, let me pull it up. All right, let me just, before I finish that thought, I'm just going to make sure I need to make a copy of this. I know Jeremy loves this one from YouTube. Jeremy loves this one. Now, he doesn't have the technical expertise I have, but Jeremy is a very wise guy. I really like him. If you guys don't follow him, some people shit on him during the bear market because he's made some mistakes, but it's like we all make mistakes. If you're looking for a perfect investor, that's stupid. You're not going to find it. All right. I don't know why we're looking at Wynn. It does look like something that could break out, but I don't think it. Well, I mean, maybe. It depends on where the market goes, right? So if the market starts taking off, great. The problem with this play is there is exposure in like China and overseas, and I think those markets are going to be tougher. So I don't know if Wynn's going to do well. Wynn, I think there's too many people that probably short this too. Wynn is one that I've looked at as a recessionary play, and now that we're above peak volume, if we get a breakout, I'm actually going to set an alert here. If we do get a breakout to the upside, this might be a hedge. Now, I don't know if you were looking at this as a hedge, but this might be a good hedge. I would love it if we got up to the 140 range, because again, I still have concerns with what's happening in China, the deflation there, and just overseas. We're seeing overseas markets like Japan and China and most of Europe and other countries that are in deflationary environments and or recessionary environments. Japan's stock market might be doing well, but we're seeing recessionary environments and signals, and we could be seeing that here. And so I want some good hedges because I want asymmetric returns, whether it's to the downside or up, right? Because if the markets plummet like 50, 60, 70, like crazy numbers, like 2008, it was over 60% on like the S&P, right? Scary numbers. But if that were to happen, I would want 10x returns on my asymmetric bets to the downside, my puts. And you guys should watch my hedges video. It had a couple of ideas in there. Might have a part two coming. Definitely loving this here. And why? Why do I love Win 2 as a potential hedge? I don't know. I got to look at the options chart. This one might be overplayed. Maybe it isn't now. But I love the fact that during 2008, it was down 92%. See, people stop buying $5 coffee when they're broke. They stop going to luxury resorts when they're broke. So like these are great opportunities. They stop buying Abercrombie and Fitch when they're broke. These are great opportunities for potential hedges that we should start looking at and figuring out how much of a multiple they can give. And also, if we can find companies that could actually fail, like Best Buy maybe fails in the future. I don't know. They've muddled along. Maybe they can still muddle along, but maybe in the future they get wrecked. They've got a lot of physical infrastructure, and if the economy took a real deep shit, I don't know if they could make it this time. 2008 was a different world for Best Buy. It was really pre-Amazon. Amazon was selling books, and they were doing other stuff. Amazon and Walmart were a fraction of what they are now. Best Buy has a much tougher field. But again, Wynn Resorts, Best Buy, Abercrombie and Fitch, all these things, and when they could all just take a hit, and I love that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm on a tirade. Let me get off of it now. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. Iron. I don't love iron, but I'll look at it. Oh, some of you are spamming here. Some of you. All right, maybe not 10 requests, guys. You got to stick with maybe a couple. Or you better be like an ultra premium member if you're going to throw out like 5 tickers. Because there's not a lot of time. And I am going to try and make this a longer one today. Fill up as many of these as I can. I'm going to try and get good about trying to complete as many of these tickers as you guys have. All right, let me see. GTBIF. What is that? Green Thumb Industry. Marijuana or something else? We veggies? What are we here? I don't know what this is. This scares the hell out of me, though. This chart frightens me. And there could be a reason for it, but it's like, okay, from the 2018, we went from a penny stock, literally a penny stock, 1 cent, to $41. That frightens the hell out of me. Plus, it looks like a left shoulder and then a head and then a right shoulder, even though they're muted and flat. That's frightening. GTBIF. Let's look here. Let's pull this up. GTBIF. Got to see. This is the one thing I specialize in that I don't think a lot of other people do. I even have. This might be too obscure. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, I can't. Let me type in the word. Maybe it'll find it. Green thumb. Oh, was that it? Green. Lots of green. I can't even find this one. So I don't know if this came from penny stock land. I'll try and see if I can figure out how to look this up on here. But we can do it here, though. We'll do it here. Let's see. Let me do more financials. We're going to go all right, trading view time. We're going to look at trading view. Okay, so interesting. Let's look at quarterly here. So on the annual, we see revenues have been going up, but the net income kind of dropped in 2022. What is 2023? Not a ton. I mean, they're positive, but we're not really seeing growths in revenue here. Who is this company? Engages in the manufacturing and distribution of branded cannabis. Dude, I would get the fuck out of this play. I would get out of this play. This already scares me. I do not, like, maybe you could look at this as a short. Might be another, you guys are just coming up with all the short plays. I'm going to have to add all these to my list here. If you're looking at this for a short, awesome. If you're looking at it to make a bunch of money, people already did. They already made all the money on this one. They already made all the money, and these guys are netting like $10 million. What is the market cap on this one? So they're doing 10 million a quarter, and it's $3 billion market cap. I'm going to short this stock probably. We're going to look, how much can we drop on this thing? So if you own this stock, again, I don't provide financial advice, but I would get the fuck out. Sorry for my French again. I'm working on it. Because unless you like 99% drops in your investments, because that's where this could go again. This is an incredibly competitive landscape. Super competitive. Gee, God, you guys are great with the shorts, though. Whether you're intending, I mean, one of you intended. The rest of you guys, whatever. Thank you, though. I'm going to look at all this stuff. This is playing out nice. All right, so let's look here. I got to go back up. Don't want to miss anybody. Already did Hood, Okta, GT, BIF. Oh, yeah, Iron. Somebody wanted Iron. I'll do that real quick. And again, guys, make it one, maybe two tickers. If you're like a premium member, if you're like a super high, just put like if you're a whale or at least an alpha males and females, you guys can do 2. Whales can do 3, 4. Okay. So if you're one of those, say it. I can look it up, so don't lie about it. Unfortunately, stupid YouTube doesn't allow a good way for me to be able to just see that. It would be awesome if like these little badges that we have in chat, if I could see. I had my wife build these, and then I found out I couldn't deploy them. I was going to have wolves, little wolves, for the people that are alpha males and females, and then I was going to have whales so that I could see not only that you're a member and paying, but what you are. YouTube is stupid and doesn't allow that. But so like if you're that and you've got like 4 tickers you want to look at, say it and we'll pull it up. All right, so Iron, off my rant. Iron, again here, huge shelf to get above. I would feel better about Iron and the potential for it taking off after 747. But again, which is a plane. I don't know why I said that. But here's the thing. You need to get above here and stay above here, right? You need to get above here and stay above here. And here's what I don't like about Iron, and I'll make this quick and try and move on as quick as I can, because I'm kind of a ranter, but they don't own Bitcoin. They don't own Bitcoin. It's so stupid to me to be a miner. And I know, what's his name? Mike Alfred, like on the board of this one. Cool. Good for you. I know the revenues jumped a lot. Cool. That's great. But they don't own Bitcoin, and so they're not going to get that plus to their net income that's going to help drive them from their stack going higher. That's what you're going to get from CleanSpark. That's definitely what you're going to get from Mara. And you're going to get some of that from Bitfarms too, even though they're smaller. Now, these guys have about the market cap of a Bitfarm, a little bit lower. And they've got new mining equipment coming. They could do all right. But the thing I don't like is that they don't have the benefit of that stack. And then you've got FASB coming in, the FASB stuff. So it's like, this is the time to have a big stack of Bitcoin if you're a miner or like MicroStrategy or something, and they don't, and that bums me out. And I think that they're going to be a laggard for that reason. And I mean, that sucks, but it is what it is. All right, let's go. What else do we have? Block. Okay, I already did PAGs. I'll do block then. I don't have that one. Let me add it. Make a copy. After I get all these charts made up too, this is all going to go easier. Say that every time, but it's true. Block, Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF. Whoa. That's a lot. They give a dividend sporadically. Started going up, been down, been up. Boy, this is a round trip, huh? Looks like it wants to go higher. This has a... What is this? Miscellaneous trusts, mutual funds. Decent dividend. I don't even know what they own. I'll draw a fib on this one. And it could do all right. I just don't know. It's just a big lump fund, and so it's kind of hard to know what it's capable of. It looks like it back tested here on this fib. That looks like a good thing without knowing anything about it. Again, the astrology for men's turning out pretty good. It's back tested here. It's also back tested to the 200 on the daily moving average. So this thing could go up and test 39.48. I think that's very possible. I don't know a lot about the company. Probably not looking into it too much because it's an ETF. But if you have more information, provide it next time and we can take a look. NVTS. Do I already have that one? I feel like I might. Nope. Okay. Let's do that. Copy NB. Oh, sorry, members in YouTube. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat too much because I'm trying to roll through all this stuff. So members in YouTube, there's no way to be a member in X. I don't have. There's no membership ability in X. Oh, I typed in the wrong letter. They still haven't granted it. I applied for it back when my friend Mortensen Bach did, and like some of the other guys that I talked to. And none of us have gotten it. Caleb Franzen, too. He's brilliant. So is Mortensen. And none of us have gotten it yet. So I don't know what the hell that's about. Navitas, semiconductor company. I don't know anything about these guys, but that's interesting. Let's take a look. Let's do a fib here. Let's do a fib and then see what it might be able to do in the future. All right, so that was what, 2022? Okay. So it's down and out. I'm going to freeze frame this one. Let's actually look at this, though, real quick. NVTS. I want to see what the revenues look like. And you can see how, where I was showing you for a second, you can do that stuff in TradingView. And I love TradingView. These guys have actually been really cool to me. They gave me a whole year for free, promotional year recently, but they're good peeps. But at the same time, though, like Visual Stocks is awesome. My buddy Alejandro is just kick-ass. All right, so I like this. I like to see the revenue growing 115% year over year. That's cool. They got a little bit of positive net income, but it's kind of been going back and forth. There's dilution, not a ton, but a little bit. It's happening. And operating expenses look like they're trending down. That's good. No real debt to speak of. Tons of cash. Cash flow looks like it might be trending towards better. But again, it's kind of flat. I don't know anything about the fundamentals here, though, but I don't like the fact that the operating expenses are still above the revenue. And stock-based comp is still pretty high as a percentage of revenue. It's very high. I don't know. And look at this guide. The guide isn't great. I don't know. Doesn't interest me too much right now. But if you knew of like, they've got a huge contract and they're going to blow away their guidance, then great. That might be interesting. But outside of that, barring that, I don't know that I'm too interested. All right, next on the list, ALGM. That's not ALGM. That's not ALGM. There we go. That is. Let's see what we got here. And I kind of do this until I start losing all of my side screens because I don't pay $250 a month for TradingView. So once I start to lose all my screens, I stop. But we got time. We got time. So let's see here. What is this? June? I'm just going to go here. Oh, nope, lost it. Close. Can refine this later. All right, so this is good, actually. I might be curious to see what these guys do. Microsystems. Oh, this is semis too. Here's what I love about this. I love that peak volumes are all underneath of us, along with the first fib, the .236, and that we've been grinding above that. If semiconductor love continues to prosper, this, if nothing else, could go to 36, maybe even 40, and the golden retracement zone where it loves to retrace the 45-ish range. But let's just look at what their finances are real quick. Because that, Allegro, I remember the name, also sounds like something that you would take for, like, I don't know, some medical condition. All right, so I don't love what's happened recently. The revenue, it looks like it's grinding above support on that first fib because it doesn't look great. Look at this debt. Their debt just exploded. And their cash plummeted. Their revenues dropped. Their net income dropped. They're at $33 million. Their revenue growth year over year is only 2%. This is a $6 billion company, and they're netting $33 million a quarter. I mean, I don't know. It just looks a little weird. They're not diluting shares. That's good. I don't like the fact that the revenue dropped, and I don't know why. So let's look at estimates. That's going to continue to happen. I don't like it. I don't like once you know that this thing's bottoming in revenue and that they're going to start seeing it going up again, bring it back to me. But as of right now, I don't like this play. You might get lucky and it might go up, But I mean, the revenues are in decline. That sucks. Did I add to the BBY hedge? I did. I got a 2026 play that I started doing on that one. So I have added to that. And I will, you know what? I'm going to go back. Lou, I'm going to do a couple more years since we don't have a lot of other requests here. And if I missed anybody else's, throw it in chat real quick. But yeah, I'm going to do a couple more years. And then it looks like somebody had T down here too. Danny, I'll get that one too. But I'm going to hook you up with more since there's not that many requests right now. And then, like I said, I'll do that research. Oh, I don't have this one. I better make a copy. I'll do that research on all these other potential hedge opportunities because I'm getting excited about that. And again, while everything is great, that's when you buy insurance. You buy the insurance when everything is going great. And you book it out maybe a couple years with, is this SoundHound? SoundHound AI. What does that even mean? I know what SoundHound is, but why AI? This looks played out to me. We're looking at a company that's almost $2 billion. And I mean, if you look here, the measured move, it happened. I'm not going to look at this. And you can see after hours, it's already down 14%. So it's up 300% in this month in 2 weeks. It was up 360%. So, I mean, if you made a bunch of money off of this, might be time to get out. Let's look at fundamentals real quick. I don't like the fact that it's got AI in its name. It just sounds to me like SoundHound wanted to make some money off AI. Yeah, this sucks. They're losing money at $20 million a quarter. They got a revenue boost. I mean, I guess that's good, but this looks kind of choppy. So is that going to keep happening? They're diluting shares. Their debt is not great. Their cash flow is always negative. They've lowered operating expenses, but they're nowhere close to profitable. And there's no indication that that's going to happen. And 50% of revenue or stock-based comp is 50% of revenue. So it's like, whatever. This is just these people are just here to digest your money. That's my take. Grab. I think I have Grab. Let me see here. Try and find that one. I feel like I did that one. Yes, I did. Okay. See, I love it when I already have these. Oh, this was a bottom feeder. Okay, so it was sitting real low. It's transportation. I'm not even going to look at it more until I see what the rest of this looks like. Because it might belong down there for a reason. But, oh yeah, okay, this is one. Maybe I was talking about this the other day and I forgot to look it up. This is interesting because these guys are close to being net income positive, bleeding 99 million a quarter, but they've got a decent reserve left. Their operating expenses have been declining. They're not doing a lot of stock-based comp. Their cash flows went positive for the first time in a while. And what did these guys do again? Oh, Singapore software. Dude, I've got to look this one up. I'm gonna put this right at the top of my list. All right, I will look this up this time. I haven't been good at, I've written them down, but I haven't been doing a good job following up. I'm very interested in this. Morgan Stanley's in it. BlackRock's in it. Okay, so these guys are already starting. Barclays. We're seeing a bunch of people in it. I need to know more about this company. I love the setup here. This is stupid. Heck yeah, dude. Thank you for this. Look at that guidance. And maybe still flat next quarter, and then maybe still a little bit red, but almost even on EPS. EBIT still red, whatever, dude. This is getting close. Very interested to know what the future of this company holds with 61% revenue growth year over year and really doing a great job coming back from the depths. Look at this. 2023, what was this? They were down 1.7 billion or something. Look at 2023. This number is like a fraction of that. This is beautiful. This is a good trend. I like this one. Thank you for that. Time to do some work. Glad I looked that one up. All right, T. Oh, hey, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. Everybody that does. I'm going to try and do more of this. I might even start looking up charts on the weekend. Maybe in the morning or something on Saturdays and Sundays. Have a cup of Joe and start looking up charts so that people that are busy during the week, so that we can kind of go through those two on the weekend and give them an opportunity T. What is T? What is T? What is T? Is that an actual chart? Hey, Danny, what's T? I'm going to go to 4 real quick. Tell me what T is as far as the actual name, because it might be hard to look it up. Shift 4 payments. This rings a bell. Looks like it's already ran. Can it run more? It is a $7 billion company. It's retraced a lot from 92. Let's look it up. Yeah, so this is the thing I offer that other people don't. They'll show you a chart, and then they half of them don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Sorry, I really got to watch my mouth. So half of them don't know what they're talking about and don't even know how to read a chart well, and then none of them look at the fundamentals. I never see people that quickly look at, like, what do the financial statements look like, and compare that, and then ask for more detail about the fundamentals of the company. Oh, you told your buddy to get out of sound? You're smart. Definitely tell him to. Tell him to watch this video. Shift 4. Okay, so yeah, but I do this, and I think that that's a benefit that you're not going to find a lot of other places. I haven't found it. So, guess I'm it. Anyway, revenue going up. Net income positive. 32 million a quarter. Debt high. Don't like debt high. Don't like debt high. Want way more cash than debt. This scares me because things could turn around and they could have issues with financing in this type of environment. But Shift 4 payments, I mean, it's probably like more banking side, and no, this is software infrastructure though. I don't love the debt. It's nice that they're making some money. It's nice that cash flow is turning positive. They need to work out that debt. I love this though. Look at this. The revenue, yeah, so this could be all right, man. The revenue is definitely outpacing operating expense as of late. Estimates, and it looks like they're trending down a little bit for, looks like they're trending down. I don't know, that's got the wrong label on it, but it looks like Q2. EPS estimates are continuing to grow. EBIT looks positive. I just don't like the debt. That's the only thing. I would love to know more about this company though. Let me look over here again. Oh, but again, they kind of ran. So I don't know. I'll draw a trend-based fib on this one, but this is kind of one of those where it's like, you had your move. It did it. And even made it up to the .786. It's probably going to test back down to 77. And this is such a massive wick on a daily. I mean, it's going to be a weekly, right? But this is the top. I'm just going to tell you, this is the top. If you're in this, get out. That's my take. Why do I say that? It had the longest weekly wick ever in the history of this company, going back to 2020. And look at this massive wick on top. This is like, it's indecision, but with this kind of volume, you've probably seen the top for a while. Maybe if you're lucky, it just grinds over this way for a while without something really fundamental pulling it higher, like maybe they do debt restructuring or whatever else. That stuff could help. But outside of that, this might be dead for a while. So if you know fundamental stuff that indicates that this is really good, then great. Otherwise, yeah, it might not be a thing for a while. AI, I can look up AI. I don't like AI. So it's C3 AI. I think this is kind of a fake company. That's just my take on it. They're definitely no Palantir. They're up 24% today. All right, let's figure out why. That's an interesting number. On earnings, okay, did they actually make some money? Let's take a look. Let's see, is Jesse going to be eating crow? Maybe. See, do we have Q4 in here? It is loaded. For premium members of Visual Stocks, you have this. This is insane. Why do people own this stock? This is such trash. Okay, so I'm sorry if you own this. I'm sorry for shit talking your stuff, but I'm always going to be honest. So if you give me a ticker, you're going to get whatever you get, okay? So look at this. Sure, revenues went up, but look at this. This company doesn't even know how to make money. Sure, they don't have debt, but they're diluting their shares away. And their salesman looks like a slimy, like used cars, or their head CEO reminds me of a used car salesman, like a really suave one. Maybe he sells you like some luxury car, and like all the cylinders are blown, but he tells you like, hey, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. So operating expenses are going up. Cash is going down. No debt, but they're diluting the shareholders. They can't figure out how to make money. They actually broke a record here for losing money. Sweet. Good job, guys. 70%. Huge stock-based comp. So they're just pilfering shareholders. Their expenses far outweigh their revenue. No vision in sight of changing that. It goes back to 2021, even 2019. They have a great ticker. It's a good ticker. If you made money off of this, sell. Get the fuck out. That's my take. Oh, and I overwrote 4, so I'm going to need to put that back. I don't want to screw that up. Yeah, so that's my AI take. There you go. Boom. Teladoc. Ooh, you're going to love this one too. Let me see here. I did buy this for like a minute. Probably not going to be super nice on this one either, but who knows, man? Maybe they changed. Maybe stuff is better. Maybe stuff is better. Oh, they launched. Gotta love launching. Nope, that's not them. That's 4. Duh. All right, let me get in here. My brain's getting fuzzy. You can tell I need some carbs. Woo! Boy, man. That's the pain train right there. That's the pain train. That's like the multi-year pain train. Wasn't this a SPAC? It seems like a SPAC. I know it's an ARC thing. Kathy Woods sometimes doesn't pick great companies. Love the concept of this. Love the concept of this. Seems like it should work. Doesn't it? How much is it down? Probably a lot. What do you guys want to bet? 95%? Is this just a 0? Ha ha! Boo! Dude, I'm so good. So good. So good. All right, let's look at the financials of the TDoc. See if this trash has gotten any better. Revenue slowly climbing. Don't hate that. You know what? I would actually argue it's getting better. I'm surprised. Now, here's a problem, though. Revenue growth isn't enough. It's only 4%. It's like a tech company. We need to see more. But here's what I like. The revenue is still growing. Dilution isn't great. I love this. I love that over the last 4 quarters, we're actually starting to see an increase in cash while seeing a slow reduction in debt. Operating expenses have started to come down the last few quarters. Cash flow is building out. It almost feels like these guys might be onto something. This must be broke. They didn't go to 0. There's probably some data missing there. But revenue per employee, $465,000. This is actually starting to turn into a company, guys. We got some guidance. Is this actually positive? Are we guiding for positive? Is that still negative? I think it's still negative. It's so hard to see. It's so tiny. All right, let me go in here. No, it's still negative. It's still negative. Is that positive? Oh, it's so hard to see. Nope, still negative. Okay, so they got some work to do, but so I wouldn't expect like an immediate turnaround, but as beat up as this stock is, yeah, okay, I'm checking it out. I can't believe I'm looking at it again, but if they're this is how you know it's real, right? Because I'm looking at something and I'm completely shit talking it, and then I pull it up and it's like, oh, okay, well, I haven't looked at this in a year, and it looks like the financials or fundamentals behind it might be improving. And so you change your perspective based on that, right? Like you don't hold biases and then get new data and then still hold a bias. You have to move on, right? Few people do that. I don't know why. So, all right. So did I save that? I need to save that. I don't want to lose my TDoc here. Yep, it's there. Okay, cool. All right. So what else did we have? Wow, you guys added more. You guys are sneaky. Super sneaky, you guys. All right. Let me make another one here. HNST. And again, thank you to all the people who become members. I really appreciate you guys. And it gives you an opportunity to have your stuff looked up. And as I start to do this more, oh, hey, quick hint too for the people that don't realize this. If you come into the video early, so like if you turn on notifications, you can actually ask a question, and I will start at the top of the list. So it's kind of a way for you to be able to get in here early. The Honest Company. Okay. Is this that one from that? Is this run by a CEO that's like a lady, like a former actress or something? Am I tripping? Is that a true story? Somebody tell me in chat. Honest Company. Is this one of the ones Jeremy likes? I don't know. He's got a few. Let me see here real quick. All right. Sorry, I'm so bad with chat. I'm just trying to roll through this one after another. Eventually, I'll get better at this stuff. All right. So this is interesting. Looks like it's trying to establish a base above all this volume. It's run hard though. RSI is way up here at the top. So, and it's got bearish divergence. This is going up. This is going down. Let's look at it. But it had a good run. Jessica. Oh yeah, she's a hottie, right? She was on my list of hotties. You know the list. All right. My wife, I'm pretty sure knows she's on the list. All right, here. So going up, seeing a little bit of revenue increase, starting to get positive on net income. Kind of wishy-washy. Had some weird stuff here with cash and debt. Cash flow's positive, still diluting a lot. Operating expenses are starting to go down. Not a lot of growth here, though. It's just kind of boring. Market cap 296 million, losing about 8 million a quarter. I don't know, man. She is super cute, but I don't know if that means I want to invest in her company. Just not seeing anything I love here. So yeah, it bounced. That was a nice bounce. Maybe hop out. My 2 cents. What else we got? I'm losing all my charts. We could still go a little bit longer, but I'm losing them. All right, Gertie. Gertie. That sounds like an old person's name. Gertie. All right. Gertie. Grid infrastructure. Not what I thought it was going to be. Is that it? Is that the one you wanted? Where'd that go? I feel like I'm blind right now. I just saw this. Yeah, it is. Okay. Grid infrastructure. Huh. This is an interesting chart. Just kind of going along for decades. Doing nothing. Went up a lot. Dropped back down. Okay. Before we do anything else, we're just going to look. See, some of these, the charts don't look... If the chart looks interesting, then it's like, okay, then I get really excited. Grid infrastructure? I don't even know if I can look this up. This chart's so boring, it's not even here. All right, we can do it over... No, there's like nothing here, man. Grid does not pay dividends. There's nothing here. What the hell is this? Grid Infrastructure Incorporated. Where are my financials? I don't see anything here. All right, so I can't give you a lot here. I can't give you a lot here. All the volume happened in the last, like, month. Oh, baby and beauty products. Okay. All right, thanks. Well, then I'm definitely not interested. It's not Jessica Alba. The chart's not interesting, and the financials. So, yeah, everything happened in the last couple. I don't know what to say about this chart, man. I have nothing to say about this chart. I can't look up any financials, and we just had some crazy volume out of nowhere that drove this thing up, and now it looks like it's all falling off a cliff. I don't know anything else that's going on, but it looks like a bleeder. I would expect to bleed at least down to the 40s. I wouldn't own it. All right, 5. You guys added a lot. You guys are sneaky. All right, let me see. I might have 5. Let's just see. Do we have 5? Do we have 5? Damn it. We do not have 5. And I wasted all that time. Wait, let me get over here. Is this 5, guys? Oh, you guys are making me hungry. You guys can't give me food stocks. 5 below. Okay, that's better. Still hungry, though. All right, so this one's interesting. Massive crash during the pandemic. Let's draw out our fib here. Is this like retail? I don't even know what this is off the top of my head. I know I've heard of it. I know it was in the mall. I didn't look at it. It's right at a fib. Wants to break higher. Almost looks like an inverse head and shoulders. The measured move would put us up closer to the 2618 and the 290s. Let's look at this company. Fiverr. Five Below. 14% revenue growth. Kind of weird and choppy. It looks seasonal. Oh, I guess that makes sense. What is this again? Specialty realtor or retail. All right, so seasonal probably makes sense there. Tons of debt, just packing on debt. This company's probably going to go bankrupt. I don't know. This is a weird one. It looks like stock buybacks. Their stocks are getting lower, but they have massive debt and they don't have a lot of cash, and their operating expenses are going up, and their cash flow is like chopping down, but there's seasonality here too. I mean, I guess there's some signs of hope here. I don't like that revenue per employee is going down. This looks mismanaged. It looks like they're expecting a big bump in maybe this will look better after the seasonality. Q4 is their big selling time, it looks like. So maybe this will look better after that. I'm not going to lie, though. I might look at it as a short. Just because, again, this is retail. And if there's a company that looks like it could die, it is this one. From that debt, if the markets really plummet, this one, they're not going to be able to restructure this. They might be bought up or something, but they could die. All right. What else we got? Pan W. I think I already have that one. Do we already have it? Cool. See, I love it when we already have them. Makes this easier. So I was talking about how it's bouncing off the fib. Looks like it might want to test back up to the .618. Let's look at it over here under the financials. Eventually I'll memorize all of this. Palo Alto. Oh, yeah. Nancy Pelosi, right? Is that this one? Is this the Nancy Pelosi? I don't remember. They had like some one-time thing, shot up the net income. They missed on something. Don't remember what. 19% year over year. Large institutional ownership. All the big guys. Definitely going to be found in ETFs. Operating expenses chugged up a little bit. I mean, nothing too crazy here. They're still seeing revenue growth. They're still seeing positive EPS. It looks like a good trend. So yeah, this is the Nancy Pelosi stock. I think Nancy probably made a good move. She's a smart lady. I mean, not everybody loves her politically, but she seems to be a pretty decent investor. Isn't it funny? All right. I'll do the ATT, and then I'm probably out. Biddy, the short, is that the short one, Biddy? Ooh, that one has me interested. All right, I'm going to skip to that one. I want to apologize. I want to see Biddy. Let's see Biddy. And then I might have to, you guys might have to, I'm feeling super hungry, and that's on me, but I might bail after this. I've been doing it for about an hour and a half anyway. So again, if you guys don't get yours looked at today, pull them up or come in here and post earlier and tomorrow in that feed. I post them, in the morning, so you should see it as a recommendation or be able to get notifications if you have alerts on, and just put something in the comments and I'll take a look. So Biddy. This is going to be a great one. Who I think Caleb was talking about this. Somebody was, or maybe it's just you guys. This is going to be a fun one to ride when we think Bitcoin has peaked, because right now it's doing nothing but losing value, right? Just nothing but bleeding. But when Bitcoin has peaked, I will start selling my miners, my shit coins, all that stuff will go away, and I'll slowly start adding to Biddy. Biddy is down 81% from where it was in November of 2022. And it can just really plummet. It'll be down 95%. It'll probably be down 99% by the time Bitcoin peaks. But I tell you what, it's going to go up a bunch when Bitcoin does end up hitting its bottom. So this is a great hedge strategy. This is probably one of my favorites. Buy investments that I think are going to go up. have a couple of really strong hedges, and then as Bitcoin's peaking, jump into this. Keep a bunch of my Bitcoin in my personal holdings, add to my stack for the cycle, and then buy a bunch of this so that I can make money when Bitcoin's falling. And then I can start selling it and buy into Bitcoin as I feel the need. So this is just such a great way to ride a bottom. This is the stuff you do, guys. You don't pick every penny at the top. You start buying into this. You start buying into this. And then when it falls, you're smiling. That's a great one to go out on. We're going to stop right there. Biddy. Biddy. Biddy, biddy, biddy. Gotta love the biddy. Don't forget biddy, guys. It's a keeper. All right, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat because I'm hungry. And it's been fun. I got to find the button here to click off. You guys take it easy. Love ya. Sorry if I missed a couple of these. We will look at them again. AMD crushed it. They're up 10, 11% today, including after hours. Love that. Anyway, you guys take it easy. Get on the list for tomorrow. Appreciate everybody that signed up and that became a member. Your support is huge. Let's make a bunch of money together, or at least try really hard. And let's learn from each other. Don't be afraid to throw something. If you know more about something than I do, throw it out. Just be right. Or at least try to be. That's all I ask.